Born of nuclear radiation and destined to walk the earth forever, welcome to Godzilla Reviewthon! What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeek Mixer here, ready to give you guys the 11th installment to the Godzilla franchise, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, or as it's also known as, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. This was made back in 1971, and the movie basically sends out a message about don't pollute the earth. Basically, give yourself a little Captain Planet reference there, because this one deals all about with the fact that the monster that Godzilla faces in this movie is made up of all the pollution that is made up on the earth. And you can even tell straight into the movie when it's going into the entry credit scenes, when it shows all these different sorts of pollutions on riverbed, on like the surface of the waters. And then you also have this woman and at the beginning of the credit scenes even speaking about save the earth. So yeah, that definitely tells you straight up that this is all about saying stop pollutions on the planet. And definitely so, because that's exactly what happens in this movie, because the monster Hedorah is made from the pollution, or not made from the pollution, excuse me there, that was actually, Hedorah is actually from outer space, and he came here on Earth and feeds off of the pollution that happened. And this one, we humans are the ones who make the pollution, we keep feeding that thing. And it turns out like it starts off as even teeny tiny tadpoles, and they can all, and there are gazillions of them, and they can all go together to form just one big giant monster. As a matter of fact, this is where I'll just go ahead and go into the human plot, where they first discovered, and when they find out that Hedorah continues to sink ships, and a marine biologist who went underwater to check it out actually got it face to face with one, and he came back with a not so good looking half part of his face burnt or contaminated or something or like that, whichever way you want to put it. Well, also the only other thing on the human side really is just that the kid Godzilla is his hero, although he also mentions Superman's his hero too. So who's gonna win this one, Godzilla or Superman? Sorry, I just want to throw that out there, guys. But yeah, Godzilla, he's the big mighty hero this time around. And yeah, but yeah, I've already told you guys that. I'm not going any more into that. But it was a cool scene right there. There's a sunset, and then he's walking up to it. The Godzilla, brave defender of the world, is here. And also it seems like this kid could sense when Godzilla's around or when he's gonna do something, because when he's sleeping, he has this sort of dream like psychic connection and knowing Godzilla's coming. First then, when Godzilla surfaces and uses his atomic breath on some of the pollution he sees, and then when Godzilla and Hedorah are somewhere nearby, he just is able to sense them. Even when he's on that roller coaster, he saw a little still image of him there. And even when he was in the party, he had felt Godzilla's presence when they were showing us his atomic breath as Godzilla was fighting Hedorah. But as for Godzilla and Hedorah, let's just say this is one of the weirdest monster battles out there, guys, because it really is. And all of it, Godzilla's really just waving his arms around fighting this thing. I mean, sure, he uses atomic breath here and there, but he's just really waving his arms around and everything. And I'm just like, dude, just grab him, fight him. And he does and stuff, but let me just say, this has got to be one of the messiest, nastiest monster battles out there. I mean, anytime Godzilla would punch him, all that sludge would just pop out of that thing. And there was even this time when Hedorah got him inside of a hole, and then he just decides to bury him in a whole bunch of toxic sludge. And man, it is just nasty, man. Disgusting. But also, Hedorah has a projectile beam, a zappity laser eyes coming out of his right eye, or is that his left eye? Whichever. But it was cool to see Godzilla do the plus position symbol when he tried to block it, even though it hurt his arm there. It was really cool to see that. I mean, I was just like, whoa, when did he learn a move like that? But hey, in the show era, they were always known for their melee, so it's good that we got that. But as for like how Godzilla defeated him, well, that was thanks mostly in part to the humans. The guy who I mentioned earlier, the little boy Ken, his father, the one I mentioned earlier, who met Hedorah underwater, he found the weakness to him by having two electrocuted walls, like from a fur distance to each other, and then they would have an electrical fire around each other, like an electrical fence, and it would be able to disintegrate the tadpoles. Tadpoles. He did it with a little test subject of the tadpoles he had. In other words, all those little things would crack up and die. And after making a test run of it, they decided to build a bigger one. And it would have worked too, but with Godzilla and Hedorah fighting, they didn't have enough power to get it done in time as Hedorah was making his way through there. But luckily for them, Godzilla took advantage by using his atomic breath to activate it and make it be able to kill Hedorah. But not without first taking out a few other things, such as these white orbs. I don't know, what were these? They're like his testicles or something? Pardon my language there, guys. I'm just saying whatever those were, his balls or whatever. Let's go ahead and get into one more thing that happened, because while Hedorah was pretty much finished, he still had a sneaky move on his land mode. You see, here Hedorah has different forms. There's this little orb form in the water, then that land mode, and then this flying mode, a flying saucer that would fly over everyone. And yeah, would really put out some sort of toxic out there that really polluted people. And then there was that big giant final form. But in any case, when his land form tried to get away, this is where Godzilla did something that you do not see every day, which was exactly what it was in the screen selections in the DVD release. And that's Godzilla blowing his atomic breath to the ground and then going off and flying. I mean, seriously, what? What the? I mean, I see that and I'm just like, what the heck, man? I mean, you see something like that and you're just like, no, whoa, what's going on here? Because that's exactly what I was feeling there, folks. I mean, seriously. I don't know how more weirder it could have gotten, because here's the thing. This movie already in all itself was weird in general, because it was hard to tell what the directors and producers and were doing here. I mean, the Save the Earth thing, I like that music's in there. It fits well within it, especially when Godzilla is finished and just tearing him apart and destroying every last dust of him after he used that electrical thing to weaken him. But during some of the earlier fights, like even when Godzilla and him were fighting in the city, there was this one scene of a club and this guy drinking and everything, and the next thing you know, he's seeing hallucinations of people with fish masks, and I'm just like, what's with that? And what's more is, what was always with all these animations here? And then there's even the more fact. There's a little kid in this who has a role here, and then you're trying to ask yourself, is this supposed to be kid-friendly or adult content? Because here's the thing. For some of the adult content, when that flying saucer Hedorah was going on out there, and putting out its toxin, it turned people into bones, and some of the structures it went on, it just melted away. Which, by the way, I didn't have any sounds on that. That was weird. But that's not as big of a deal. But let's just say that while this movie might have had a good message of saying don't pollute the earth, in the sense of monster battles, it really doesn't pan out so well. And then not to mention, doesn't pan out in the way of what direction this film was going, because you can't tell whether is this supposed to be adult content, kid content, and animation content. So it's just like, where was this director at? Or was he just on crack or something here? Because maybe that's why I put that scene in there of that guy in the club, like hallucinations and stuff. Seriously, what's up? Oh, I don't know. But that's all I'll be for today, guys. This is one of those weirdest Godzilla films ever. I always continue to look at from time to time. In other words, it's on the watch list from every so often, but not really so much so. But either case, if you guys are enjoying my videos, especially my Godzilla marathon reviews, all you gotta do is click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and be notified when I make more videos. And until then, I'll see you on the next entry in the Godzilla Reviewthon! Until then, MegaGeek Mixer signing out. Bye!